What's your name?
My name is Brianna Van Dyke.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Edgerton, Minnesota, but I live in Pipestone, Minnesota now.
And then you living on your own, or?
I live on my own now with my fiance Austin, and then we have our daughter named Aubrey.
And how old is Aubrey?
Aubrey is 19 months about, and she turns 2 in September 12th.
Alright. And you just said you and Austin are engaged and you guys are getting married in October, correct?
Well, we actually recently just changed it, so it's going to be over about a year or so. But yes, we are recently engaged.
Exciting. What level of education do you have?
I'm just finishing my first year of college, and it's going pretty well, so I'm happy with it.
And what do you want to go for?
I'm going for nursing, and I'm on the waiting list for the nursing program this fall, so hopefully it goes well.
When you found out you were pregnant, you were in high school, like when you had to tell your parents, how did they react?
Well, I told my mom right away because we've always had a close relationship. So she was disappointed, and we kind of were all disappointed. But in the end, it turned out well. But telling my father was a little bit more hard, I should say, because he had so many dreams and goals for me in life that he still wanted me to accomplish, and he felt like he just kind of gave up, and it was hard for him to take it, but we got through it.
When you were in high school, did people in school react, and how did they react?
I had a fair share of gossip going around, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends in my class that were pretty supportive through my maybe first year. Otherwise, a lot of people just kind of looked at me, but a lot of friends were very supportive, so that was nice. A lot of teachers were very supportive and always helped out in whatever way they could. But otherwise, school wasn't so bad, so it was okay.
So with all that support, did it make it easier to finish high school then?
Well, my teachers were pretty lenient, so I did online classes, PSEO, so they were school credit and a college credit. So I got a head start on college. I didn't really go to school unless I needed something with help. I did all my schooling at home, so I could be at home with Aubrey when I needed to be, and teachers are very lenient and very supportive, so it was good.
Alright, now let's just talk about your parents a little bit. Where did your parents grow up and where did they live?
My mom, she is from South Dakota, and I would say, grew up in a tough life. She always was getting yelled at and always had chores to do and make sure she was getting everything done, and if she didn't listen, she was, I think, disciplined very well by her parents. For my dad, he grew up in Edgerton, Minnesota, and his parents live in the same place now, and I think he grew up well. He had lots of brothers, so they kind of always got into trouble, but I don't know as much as for my dad, but I did know a little more about my mom and how she grew up.
Were they raised with religion, as a strong way?
Yes, my dad grew up. He went to Christian Reformed Church and still goes there now. And he was raised definitely religiously, and my mother too went to church. And so
is that something you want for Aubrey then too?
Definitely. Yes, that is definitely something that I want, and I want God to be first in her life. So it's a blessing to have.
That's awesome. What are some of the rules that your parents had growing up, if you know any of them?
Well, going back to my mom, she always had chores to do and always help out around the house, for sure for my mom. I know, but my dad, I'm not 100% sure on how everything worked out, but I know they always had stuff to do. They always had to help out around the house or on the farm, or always had to help out with everything.
So, do you think, the way your parents, when you were growing up, how did your parents, discipline you, rules and such like that?
Well, I had definitely a lot of rules and chores to do at home, but I would kind of call myself a naughty child when I was younger. Did not want to listen aggressive, and I definitely got my fair share of disciplining, either being grounded or sent to my room, the spankings, or my fair share of those. But otherwise, my parents raised me pretty well. I don't disagree with any of the things they raised me, and once I got older and kind of matured up a little bit, I definitely think it was a little easier on them. Otherwise, they did a good job raising me as a child. And
When you grew up, did they like discipline you differently? Like kind of just be like, oh, we're disappointed in you. Like, did they kind of do that more, or
well,
like?
they started to trust me a little bit more, and once they started to trust me, they let me go out and do more things. So they didn't really need to discipline me as much as they trusted me. And
Will you raise Aubrey like kind of the same way your parents did, like with chores and stuff like that?
give yes and no. There's a couple things that I will probably raise Aubrey differently. Through like the disciplining and stuff. I would like to hopefully she will obey me well later in life, because I know it's a struggle when your child is starting tantrums or doesn't want to listen or is not obeying you. But otherwise, the chores and everything, I think that will all get figured out later in life when I know more and I feel like I'm more figuring out how everything works. Knowing, so
She's only one now. It's kind of hard. What are some big stressors you have here?
Well, I'm going to school, and I'm trying to go to school for full time, and trying to have a part-time job, and trying to pay bills, and being a mom, and doing housework. You know, it can be very frustrating and it's stressful. But those are probably my big thing is trying to work as much as I can and trying to make money to live and pay bills. That's probably my biggest stressor that I have. But it all works out because God is there and we pray every day and we know that He's there to help us in any way.
And you have like your family's really helpful too.
Definitely, yes. I have lots of family help. Watch Aubrey whenever they can, so I can still get out once in a while.
So that's good. Okay, now let's talk about Aubrey a little bit more. She's only one, but like, what are some rules or expectations you have for her?
Well, I don't really have much rules and expectations for her now, because she's still young yet and she's still learning. But when she gets older, I definitely want her to have God in her life and just obey her parents and just know so much about the world, learn, and I'm just really excited for what the future has for her. And but I really hope that God's in her life and that she can get a good understanding of how life works and rules and everything when she grows up.
How do you communicate with her?
Well, right now she's in the process of learning how to talk. She says a couple words, but she goes you know, a little emotional things. But she knows what we are saying, and like she comprehends what we're saying. Sometimes she doesn't always talk back to us, but at least she knows what we're saying. So she listens, and sometimes not. But
how do you want to communicate her when she's like older? You want to have like a good communication with her?
I would love to have a great communication with her when she gets older. I've always in my years had a great mother-daughter relationship and always talking to my mom, and I really hope Aubrey can one day realize how important it is to have a mom in your life, because it is just, can't explain it how good of a relationship that you really need.
How do you discipline her now, and how will you when she's older?
Well, right now, she has her tantrums, but she listens fairly well. But there's times when if she doesn't get something that she wants, she will throw her head back or cry. And what I do is just let her deal with it, and she'll get over it eventually. So, but later on in life, it's a tough decision to make that now, but hopefully when she grows up, I'll know more how to discipline and how she will react.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do like timeouts, spankings, like that kind of discipline, or
I don't know. you gotta be willing to try everything.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna work and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it'll be open-minded when that time comes.
Yeah. Do you consider her easy or challenging to raise?
Well, she was pretty easy growing up. I had no problems breastfeeding, diapers, nothing. Sleeping at night was like first couple weeks a little rough, obviously, but after she got in her routine, she slept all night, and it was great. And it is still like that. And it is a blessing to have such an easy child, because I know there are so many people out there that have so many problems with children sleeping and just being sick, and I am very blessed to have such an easy child to raise.
Especially going to school and working
And everything. It was great. So I'm definitely blessed to have that.
How do you handle like her different temperaments, like her tantrums, such as girl?
I think the best way is to just let her cry and let her figure out that obviously she's not going to get what she wants. But sometimes it does get frustrating. Maybe we'll throw in like a little spanking here and there, but nothing too concerning right now.
What drives you crazy? Either with her or like,
Oh gosh, when
Thanks,
she eats and she just is so mad, she just chucks it on the floor, and it just drives me nuts. Like, just please eat nice. And sometimes she does really good, but sometimes she's just frustrating.
what makes you most proud of her?
Just her personality. It is just so cute. She laughs, giggles. She's probably the best thing that has ever happened to my life, and I'm so proud of myself and my fiance that what we have achieved and overcome in life, and we're doing so well, and I'm so grateful to have that, and I'm just very proud of myself and him, but yet I'm proud of my daughter and what a young child she's becoming, and I'm excited for the future and what she's going to become. Just exciting.
What brings you joy as a parent?
Seeing her learn new things and teaching her how to speak, and when she just sits and plays with her just toys by herself, and it's a joy. I mean, seeing her grow up is just a blessing, and seeing all the new things that they do and how they grow up and how they learn to interact is pretty cool. It's neat.
All right, thanks, Brianna.
Yeah, no problem.
There's Aubrey and
Say hi,
Daddy.
Aubrey.
Say hi, Aubrey.